Hi, Bethel Park friends. It's Miss Miranda again, and I am here to read you the last nonfiction picture book Children's Choice Award nominee. And the one great thing about this last book, as I'm going to read it to you in April just happens to be National Poetry Month, which this book is full of all kinds of little poems. So, during this month, that is Poetry Month, people can honor poetry by writing or reading poems, learning about poets, and joining a poetry community. So, we thought this would be a great addition and introduction to Poetry Month and our last entry into the Children's Choice Awards. So, this book is called The Museum on the Moon, The Curious Objects on the Lunar Surface. And it's written by Irene Latham. This book taught me an awful lot about this subject. I had no idea about the things that happen to be on the moon's surface. So, from 1961 to 1972, NASA launched the first missions to the moon called the Apollo program. 6 of the missions, Apollo 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, and 17, landed American astronauts on the lunar surface. The astronauts carried with them a variety of items that are now artifacts, including personal mementos, tools, equipment, memorials, and other things like human waste products that were unavoidable. The moon truly is a museum. So for the first poem, it's called Welcome Earthlings. Think you know the moon because you see it every night? Imagine it's a museum. Spend an afternoon. Then you'll know the moon is more than an empty gray cocoon. So many artifacts hide in plain sight. Don't think you know the moon just because you see it every night. Very interesting. The next poem is called Forever Footprints. Human tracks tattoo moon's rutted face. With no wind, no rain, there's no way to erase those cold, perfect footprints left to rest forever in space. So cool that even today, after all these decades, those footprints are still there, exactly as he first made them. Absolutely amazing. Photograph. One smiling family makes it home on the lunar floor. Astronaut dad, mom, and their 2 sons make 4. Does this family enjoy living on the moon? We sure hope so, because they're not coming back to Earth anytime soon. So one of the astronauts left a photo of him and his family. Pretty cool. The next one is called Toss Zone. Just 8 minutes to shed any ounces of excess. Goodbye, scoops and tongs. So long, uncomfortable armrests. That tube that carried the flag, bye-bye. That heavy TV camera, better to let it stay in the sky. Oh, moon, we're so sorry. We did what we had to do, but we never meant to make a dump out of you. Okay, and then this next poem, I'm going to read you this little entry over to the side first. About the size of a home washer and dryer, Ebb and Flow were the names given to the twin spacecraft that were launched in September 10th, 2011 as part of the GRAIL, which is the Gravity Recovery and Interior Laboratory mission that used high-quality gravitational field mapping to determine the moon's internal structure. So this poem is about Ebb and Flow. Meet the magnificent moon duo. Ebb and flow come and go, mapping, spinning, finding gravity fields on the moon. Ebb and flow, whine and slow, grinding, dying, crashing, twins together on the moon. The next poem is called Invisible. If stardust is made of human hopes and prayers, every wish upon a star, then moon dust is a layer upon layer of our dreams come true. The glow that ignites may be too me and you. This poem is an outpost. Just more than a museum. Imagine a research hub, a living lab, a luminous home away from home. Get ready, you could be the one to wheel a lunar rover over craggy hills and seas. You can join others from across the globe to preserve's moon legacy and make yet another giant leap. And then finally, the last poem that I'm going to read to you guys is an acrostic poem. And we're going to talk more about what an acrostic poem is in just a second. But this one is called Peace. And it spells out peace right here. Peace is as an olive branch, extended by astronauts from a wee blue planet, and left to glitter when kissed by the sun, a shiny crown of promises, a moon wish encrusted with science. So, as I said, this is an acrostic poem. The title was called Peace, and it spelled out each letter. And an acrostic poem is a style of poetry where the first letters of each line spell out a word or a phrase vertically. So, I'm going to show you my example that I did. So, I chose to use the word library. So, and for every letter of library, the first word in my sentences start with that letter. So for L, I put library cards are your pass to find out about space and so much more. I had no idea the moon's surface had so many objects on it. B, boot prints on the moon that will stay forever are really cool. A, are you interested in learning about the moon and space because of this book? R, read about the moon and why. You can find out more at the Bethel Park Public Library. So you guys can go ahead. You guys can choose any word that you want to do. So you can use your name. You could use the word moon or poetry. It's completely up to you. But this was a lot of fun creating this based on the book that I read to you and the place that I work. So, and as I said earlier, this is the last book in our nonfiction picture book Children's Choice Award. Pretty soon your librarian, your school librarian will be passing out the ballots to you guys. And you guys can choose whichever one you guys was your favorite. And then we'll be back next in May to let you guys know the results of the voting. And then we're going to talk to you about summer reading because believe it or not, summer is right around the corner. So thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed all these picture books. And the last one I read to you was The Museum on the Moon, The Curious Objects on the Lunar Surface. And it was written by Irene Latham. Have a great day, and thank you so much. We've really enjoyed our time coming in with you guys and seeing all your guys' happy, smiling faces.